What's going on, world? It's your man, Chuck Creekmur, a.k.a. Jigsaw, for allhiphop.com, and we are here with a creator, a builder, and a holder of a boulder, Markuann Smith, the creator of Godfather of Harlem, man. What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm good. Is this the world's most dangerous website I'm on
Yes,
right now?
sir. Still, I don't care who tries to take that title. That's us. Yeah, we're still here. So what's going on, man? I heard some things about you and your health and everything. I know that Godfather of Harlem was sort of delayed, as most productions were, because of COVID. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. I mean, thank God. My health is coming back. COVID is something serious, and I tell people out there, as you know, our mid-season just came back because we had to shoot during the height of the pandemic. And unfortunately, it's still the height of the pandemic where we're at right now. You're seeing cases rising. And it's so funny because I was taking 3 COVID tests just to come on set. We had to take, like, the COVID protocol that Disney and EPIX used was, like, phenomenal. And we all had to take at least 3 COVID tests Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And, got through a successful season. And then just for it to just happen and just catch me off guard like this is just crazy, man. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah, I hear that a lot from people that catch COVID, but it seems like we still have people that don't take it seriously.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was just in Miami, and I think that's where I contacted it. And I'm good with wearing my mask and things of that sort, but the masses of people out there that don't believe that this is real is just crazy. I was just looking at Lollapalooza and saw how so many people were out there. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I tell anybody out there, just be safe, be masked up, do what you can do to protect yourself. I got a war chest back here, vitamin A through Z, onion tea, garlic tea, ginger tea, everything you could think of, manuka honey, elderberry, just to build your immune system back up.
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, I gotta say, you got the dopest mask. I know a lot of people don't mess with Gucci, but that Gucci mask you had was dope. You probably got other ones now.
You know what? I put the standard hospital mask underneath the Gucci mask. Just to spice it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and things
right.
of that sort. I've always been a person that loved fashion. And I just feel like even in the times of depression and times like this, you got to make yourself feel good. Even if you can't come outside, dress up and act like you're outside.
Yeah.
Don't let the circumstances become your circumstance.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about the new season of Godfather of Harlem. Great show. Love the show still. Where are things in terms of, the characters, the plot, and even the cast,
Well, this season is about the French Connection, as you saw in the first episode of season 2, and it's a new day in Harlem, and Bumpy is trying to find a pipeline from Marseille and get the best dope that he could without utilizing the Italians, but he had ended up having to be partners with the Italians. Season is showing a lot of things from trust to loyalty to secrets, things of that sort. And the writers did a very great job this season.
Was there any difference between this season and the last one in terms of how things were put together?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the first season we were just brand new to the network, and the writers and everybody were getting to know each other and just pulling stories and making great stories. The second season, we all became a family. It's almost like you playing basketball and you playing with 5 guys for the first time, right? But now next year you understand. Okay, he's going to shoot the 3. He's good to go in and play the basket, or we're going to use him to set up a pick. So we were able to utilize everyone's talent this year.
Yeah, dope. How's your relationship with the folks? I mean, it seems like you're really close to them, the other cast members.
Oh man, we're all family. I mean, it's what's so funny. Like usually when you're on set and after it's a wrap, everybody goes on their own way and they start other projects. we always make sure that we're okay, especially in a time like this of COVID, man. We're all brothers, like Elvis and Eric and Nigel and of course Forrest. Those are all my big brothers. You know, John Carlo. He always shows me the utmost respect and love. Vincent, Ilfinesh is a wonderful person. Antoinette, Grace. These are all individuals that have become my family, and I'm so proud of Demi as well. She's in the new King Richard movie with Will Smith playing Serena Williams' father. You know, so just to be able to work around so much talent is amazing, and I can't even like just say about Swiss and Grady, you know, and Mo. Like these are all family members, like for life.
I kid you not. I was looking at the last episode, and when I don't want to spoil it, but when they were having their family conversation, and I looked at her. What's her name again? I'm sorry, the daughter, the young daughter.
Her name is Demi.
Demi. I was looking at Demi, and I said, it hit me, and I said, yo, she could play a young Serena.
Wow.
And so I Googled her, and there it was. I was like, oh, snap.
So you spoke it into existence.
Yeah, I was like, wow, she's a dead ringer for Serena. Yeah. It's crazy.
Wonderful, talented, humble human being. I love her and her family, and she's going a lot of places in this industry.
Yeah, I have to agree. We don't see Giancarlo as much in the new season. Yeah, is this? I don't know. I don't feel like I'm seeing him as much.
Well, you are seeing him, but we have 4 more episodes before the season closes for season 2. Okay. And Giancarlo is also working. Like he's the hardest working man that I know. I mean, he's juggling multiple projects.
Yeah.
So when he can come in, we try to kind of like punch him in for the episodes that he's able to be able to utilize him for. You know. Yeah. But you will be seeing him later on in the next episodes.
Got you. For far as some of the critics, what do you say to the people? Some of which you have said. Although there is that disclaimer at the beginning, have had criticisms regarding the historical aspects or maybe the creative licenses that have been taken.
Well, you know, like I always said, we're not doing a documentary. We're doing a television series. And we have taken creative licensing, and some stuff can be embellished. And but we tried to keep it as historically accurate as possible. And working with Professor Small, who was there, he was actually Malcolm's sister's bodyguard when Malcolm passed away. And you know, if you go on YouTube, he has this wonderful content called Hidden Colors. And listening to him, we were able to try to get it as close as possible. Yeah. So once again, I tell people at all time with the disclaimer, and we're not doing a documentary. We're actually trying to tell a story that's historically as correct as we can get it. And I call it entertaining and educational at the same time.
Yeah. So that I just gotta say that white girl gets on my last nerve, man. I just want to jump into the screen and choke her.
Yeah, Lucy's an amazing actor, and she's actually from Australia. And you wouldn't even think how she was able to bring in that East Harlem Italian accident and make it so real, you know. And Lucy's character is not meant to be loved. She's coming up in a family of gangsters, you know. And it's not just her family, which is her father. It's the people that's around her as well. So she has to learn how to be strong, and she's learning it from, you know, growing up and seeing what her father's doing.
Yeah, man. I didn't mean to call her the white girl or nothing like that, but she gets to me every single time.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a good thing, because if you as someone that's watching the show and it's a character that just irks you, that means that they're doing what they came to do. Yeah, definitely. Your character, Junie, has evolved quite a bit, and we see him get into some stuff, literally, in the new season. How has he developed in the between seasons? Well, you know, it's all in the writers room. The writers have an idea of what they want the character to actually grow and be like. Season 1, you saw my character evolving as being one of Bumpy's soldiers. me being the youngest. You know, it's Chance, it's Pettigrew, and it's myself. But it was very important for second season for them to start building a storyline around who Junie Bird actually was, because in reality, Junie Bird was there when Bumpy passed away. He was one of his most trusted lieutenants, or trusted friends. So in the writers' room right now, they're building the character to see how all three of these guys have a relationship with each other. So I'm not just a character that's just in the scene, but a character that's part of the scene. Yeah.
As the creator, how much? Like, what's your status now? I mean, obviously you created it, but what's your status on the business side?
Well, when people say I created, and in actuality, I'm the initiator, because it started 18 years ago. But on paperwork, Chris Brancato is the creator, and Paul Epstein. I'm the person that initiated the process that took almost 18 years to get it done. You know, and part of the guidelines, the WGA guidelines, and things of that sort. Those are titles come and go. You know, but on the business side, you know, everything as well. I mean, Chris Brancato and Paul Epstein, they're my big brothers. You know, they listen to me. I take advice from them. Where I'm in the writers' room with them. I'm telling them points and interviews that I've had with the older characters that are actually out there, that's still out there on the street, like the OGs that are out there, and we help each other. So I humbly say that we have a wonderful tribe that supports each other.
Talk about, you know, I know we've had this convo before, but I was literally just talking to my daughter. She never heard of Bumpy Johnson before. So just as something to have on the record, tell people who he was and actually why you started this journey.
Well, I mean, I say it like this. What happened, it was over 18 years ago. I used to go to Lenox Terrace. Going up to Lenox Terrace, it's in Harlem, on Lenox Avenue, 132nd, 133rd, 34th, 35th. I used to sit in a young lady's apartment by the name of Margaret Johnson. Margaret is my godmother, and she used to tell me these magical stories of Harlem. She used to tell me how she used to walk outside a tenement window and smell fresh laundry hanging out. Let me turn it back. We got to cut this because I messed up. Can we edit this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can edit. Go ahead, start over.
Okay. Can you throw the question to me?
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. So I was just talking to. So let me start over myself. So I was just talking to my daughter. She's a teenager, and I told her I was about to interview you, and I told her about Godfather of Harlem. She's like, "Oh, that's your favorite show." Blah blah blah. and I said, as she didn't understand that it's about a real person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it made me think about it. So can you just kind of like, for the record, tell folks who Bumpy Johnson was and why you started this process so long ago?
Man, if I can go way back and think, it's about 18 years ago, probably about close to 1920 right now. And I used to go up to Lenox Terrace in Harlem. And I used to sit in a young lady's apartment by the name of Margaret Johnson, who's my godmother. And she used to tell me these magical stories about Harlem in the 60s. How she used to walk out of a tenement building and smell fresh laundry hanging out a window. Or walk past the Apollo and see James Brown's name on the marquee. Or walk past Sugar Ray Robinson's barbershop. You may peep inside. You may see Nat King Cole or Jackie Wilson waiting to get a haircut. Yeah. But she also used to tell me about the systematic racism that was happening in Harlem at the time, and how people migrated from the South trying to escape Bull Connor's dogs and his water hoses, but still experiencing racism at the time. And it was magical, but she was like, it was very disturbing, you know, how people were being treated. Like African Americans, if you walked into a store, they may tell you to put on a shower cap if you wanted to purchase a hat. Or African American family, they may come out on Sunday and they just want to get a steak dinner and enjoy it just like everybody else. But they can't go inside the store or the restaurant. They have to stand outside and get takeout. But she also used to tell me about her grandfather, who the streets knew as Bumpy Johnson, Ellsworth Raymond Johnson, how he migrated from Charleston, South Carolina. He was a Geechee Gullah. And he didn't come up to New York to become a gangster. He actually came up here to become an attorney like Malcolm X. But the bursar at City College told him that we don't give financial aid to colored folks. And he said, you know what? I'm going to make you eat those words. So he took what life dealt him, took those cards and played it the best that he could. And he became part of the streets. He was one of the only African Americans that was able to sit down with Maya Lansky, Lucky Luciano, Frank Costello, Vito Genovese. He was with the Five Families, but he was African American, and they didn't look at him like he was a NIGGA. They looked at him as a Negro. You know, even the warden in Alcatraz said he was one of the smartest colored folks he's ever ran across. Right. His IQ was out of this world. There was rumors that he beat Bobby Fischer in chess. It was, you know, he used to sit down and have Sunday dinner with Malcolm X at his home. You know, princes and princesses used to come all the way uptown to come just to be around him. Dictators, you know, like Fidel Castro, who came up to Harlem to see him, you know, and she just wanted the real story to be told about who her grandfather was, you know. Right. She didn't want the story that was told in American Gangster or Hoodlum or the Cotton Club, you know. Bumpy didn't die in front of 20 RCA TVs talking about Pepsi was the best product like Hollywood showed in American Gangster, you know. He was more than just a gangster. He was a scholar. I mean, he read Shakespeare, he read Nietzsche. You know, he has published poetry, you know. So she wanted the real story to be told, and I made her a promise that I would get it done.
Wow, that's a lot. I didn't even know a lot of what you just said. That's crazy. Well, that's dope. I think in that respect, you guys have done a great job of showing him as a well-rounded person, for sure. I see you wearing the Malcolm X shirt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Roots of Fights. They have great products, man, and their products are like they like to create, share, teach, and fight for respect. You know, live greatness. And these guys have you know, all kind of historical heroes like Jesse Owens and Malcolm X and Rosa Parks and, you know, Roberto Clemente. I mean, they're a great clothing line, and I like to represent greatness.
I'm gonna have to whisper at them a little bit, see what we can work out.
They have some great projects.
Dope. Have you talked to anybody in the Nation of Islam? There's a lot of whispers going on with regard to Malcolm's portrayal and character. Have you talked to anyone?
You know, the funny thing is, we spoke to Malcolm's daughter, and Malcolm's daughter has actually came on set, and Adam Clayton Powell's son has actually came on set as well too. And speaking to his daughter, you know, Ilyasha, and not getting any type of negative feedback from her, but getting constructive criticism of things that we need to change is all that we needed, you know.
Got you. Okay. Now, there's a lot of content out here, man. There's a lot of content. You know, you got everything from what 50 is doing, BMF coming up. You've got Power and Kanan and The Shy. Where does Godfather of Harlem fall in all of this? You know, from you know, The Wire. You know, we go way back with it. Where do you think you guys land?
Well, the most important thing when you're selling a show or creating a show or writing a show or even thinking of just the inception of a show is what I call a fog cutter show. You have to create a show that's going to cut through the fog, that's just going to eliminate yourself from everybody else. You have to have your blinders on. So even though, you know, BMF, I'm sure is going to be a good show, Raising Kanan and Power and The Shy, these are all great shows. There's a lay of land for everybody, you know. And I try to just focus on what we came here to do and not just look and see, okay, 50 is doing this over here, Lena Waithe is doing this over here. But that's the beauty of being creators. You know, it's like music. I could like soft rock. I could like hip hop. I could like country. You know, I could like rock and roll. You know, it's just all about the story that you're trying to create. I think right now, in the space that we are as for African Americans and our narratives, our stories need to be told. You know, our stories could be told in different ways. We could talk about black astronauts. I could talk about a black gangster. You could talk about a black drug dealer and how it affected the community. You know, that's the wonderful thing about creating projects.
Yeah. What would you tell somebody that's aspiring to get into film and TV, or a young person who wants to, you know, do some damage like you're doing, but it's a different day and age. You know, we're in a creator's market right now.
Man, I'll tell anyone to learn your craft first and foremost. Go to Barnes and Nobles, get filmmaking for dummies,
right,
directing for dummies, acting for dummies.
right.
Learn the business as well as learn your craft. Because when you walk into a room with the suits, the executives, the only thing they care about is the ROI. What's their return on investment?
Right.
They're not really caring about the creative. Creative is just so little about it. It's
right.
just about how am I going to make my money back? Especially if you're walking and asking anything from $1 to $1 million. You're asking somebody to support your dream. So learn the craft. Learn why your story is so different than anybody else's story. Just like the question you just asked me about the difference between the Powers and the Shies and the Snowfalls. What makes our story so different. When we went out there and we sold our show, there was only one thing that we said. This is a show about the collision of civil rights and the underworld. You've seen a whole bunch of mob stories, a whole bunch of gangster stories, but you never saw a story about the relationship of a civil rights leader and a mobster.
Yeah. Now, do you have any other projects that you can sort of talk about?
Oh man, I have a plethora of projects right now that I'm working on and I'm excited about. I just signed a management deal with Artistry Collective, Cameron Mitchell and Max Goose. I mean, these guys have been supporting me, and I'm just trying to get a deal that's celebrated and not tolerated. So projects I have everything, man, from coming of age stories to cautionary tales to historical musical artists that I've been working on.
Yeah, that's what's up. I gotta really salute you, bro. I think about our conversations, and I'm just like, wow, it's all coming true. Like it's really, literally all coming true. So that's dope.
I mean, you got to think about it, man. Over 15, 16 years ago, when we were over at the network, that's what I just want to call them, the network.
Yeah.
And we were there, and you were doing your old hip hop, and you were just on the verge of becoming great. And I told you, man, sometimes you just got to take that leap out and just do it for yourself. Parachute open or parachute don't. You just took that leap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you made it happen. So I got to salute you as well. You and Grouchy.
Yeah. Now, let's shift to music a little bit. I was talking to your brother, Father MC, and that was a great conversation. Yeah. Thank you for facilitating that. Yeah, he's I like his swag. I think that's the word. You know what I'm saying? Very boisterous, confident. But he was not included in the New Mary documentary. I didn't see him. He also referenced an upcoming series on Uptown, which is not out yet. I don't know what the question is exactly, but just kind of like, I'll put it like this. There's a lot of conversation around history, not just with what you're doing, but just in general. It seems almost like a scramble to write it. You know what I mean? Like people are writing history as we go along or rewriting it even. But talk about that a little bit, and just, your brother sort of either being looked over, but maybe perhaps needing to be actually lifted up, in those instances. He was the catalyst for a lot of stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you and transparent how I feel. I mean, when you're reading the Bible, you don't skip Genesis and go right to Exodus, correct?
That's true.
All right. And I just feel when I watched the Mary's documentary, it was kind of disturbing that they didn't include him as part of her history.
Yeah.
When you heard I'll Do For You, she was part of that record.
Yeah.
When you heard All I Want From You Is a One Night Stand, she was part of that record.
Yeah.
When you heard Treat Them Like They Want to Be Treated with Jodeci, they were part of that record.
Yeah.
My brother gave people a springboard for their careers, for a platform, and it's kind of disturbing. As long as I'm alive and I have oxygen in my lungs, he will not be written out of history, and you just kind of really see people for what they're worth and where they at right now, because at the end of the day, my brother is one of the reasons why Uptown Records kept their lights on. And this is before the Mary J. Bliges. This is before the Jodeci's. This is the Finesse and Cinquestas. This is the Groovy Chills. And not even hearing those names being part of the conversation can be very irritating, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very aware that Uptown is having a mini series coming out, and I hope they just do what's the correct thing to do, you know, because my brother had some albums. He was included in Uptown Unplugged. So how do you just not even mention him? And he was part of Uptown Unplugged with Christopher Williams, Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Jodeci. You know, I mean, shame on the person who put the documentary together without even just speak to him. It's really disturbing. You know, you're not going to write Michael Jordan out of history and just talk about LeBron, right? Michael Jordan is still playing part of history. Kobe still plays part of history. Let's go back. Dr. J still plays part of history. Let's go even further back. Will Chamberlain still part of history. You know what I'm saying? Let's go further back. The Iceman is still part of history, right? Yeah. So like, you know, just watching that, it was just like really irritating. And this is not the first time that I feel that they kind of disrespected my brother's history. I mean, he was the first rapper that was able to infuse R&B and hip hop, you know. Yeah. With the help of Puffy, I don't take nothing from Puff, because Puff was the one that was in the studio and said, you know, this is the vibe, this is where you should go, you know. I mean, it's to me, it's just really some fuckery. That's what I want to use, the word fuckery, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, me personally, I know people that love the documentary, and I personally felt, aside from the omissions, that it didn't dig in enough. You know, just in general, didn't dig in enough. So I would have liked to.
I mean, you can't just go from having a karaoke song with Anita Baker to all of a sudden I got an album. There were kind of like in between things that should have been mentioned. You know, how they said, you know what, let me put her on Father's song and see how it sounds. She complimented I'll Do For You, because I'll Do For You didn't sound like that in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Hands down. Mary's voice was the one that took it to another level. But you can't forget about the person that was included in that as well. You know what I'm saying? Timothy Brown, Father MC, you know, and you know, if people aren't vocal and speak about it, you know, I'm gonna always speak about it, because I was there. I was there from the beginning. I was there from the first suitcase I picked up to the first mic I picked up on stage with my brother holding them down, you know. From the new music seminar to Jack the Rapper to being on tour with Tony, Candyman, Troop, High Five, Second to None, AMG, to Tupac Shakur being a roadie, dancing, doing a Humpty while I'm as a hype man, you know, on stage with my brother. Like, I've seen this, like, and memories can't be erased. Right.
Do you still listen to hip hop?
Absolutely. You know, I love hip hop. You know, even hip hop now I love. You know, I still got an old soul now. I'm more into my R&B now. You know, and ever since I came down with COVID, I was making playlists for days. You know what I'm saying? I got like my slow jam playlist, my hip hop playlist, things of that sort. You know, just trying to keep myself busy and keep myself occupied.
How do you and Swiss work together, man? I'll be listening to the music on Godfather of Harlem, and I'm like, yo, I'm hearing little Swiss singing songs, and I'm Shazamming them. I'm like, yo, these joints are tight. How's y'all's working relationship?
Swiss to me is one of those mad professors, you know, like Dr. Frankenstein, I call him, man. Yeah. And he has a team around him that's all family, and when he puts the music together, like, I mean, he's a genius. Like, look at the verses that he's doing, you know. We're outside right now, and people are still watching verses. That's the craziness about it. Like, he's still making it happen, you know, him and Timbaland, you know. But, you know, with Godfather, he just paints pictures. Like, they'll send him clips, and he'll be like, okay, I'm gonna set up Studio A. We're gonna put G Herbo in here. Studio B, we're gonna put Rick Ross in here. Studio C, and then he'll just jump from studio to studio while the artists are watching the clips, and he just makes it happen like a mad scientist. Big shout out to Grady, Mo, and Swiss.
Nice. Are y'all? I don't know if you've already done this. Thinking about maybe a soundtrack or something like that, or is it already out there?
Oh no, there is a soundtrack. If you look in Tidal, there's a soundtrack. You go to Tidal and you'll see Godfather Harlem.
Okay, that's what's up. Any final words on the new season? Like, can you give us any scoops? Any like, you know, tease us, man. Give us pause. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Don't do that pause. You know, people be getting canceled over pause now. But no, seriously, like, give us a little tidbit, maybe like what's to come. Is it going to be fireworks? I know it's only, it's a shortened.
I tell you this, it's going to be hell up in Harlem. Trust me. By the time episode 10 comes, it's going to be hell up in Harlem. You're going to see a roller coaster. You're going to see different arcs. You're going to see things that make you go, oh shit, Yeah. And that's what we want to do. Keep you and the family on the edge of the seats every Sunday.
Yeah, y'all got to have another red carpet event though. We got to, for the next season, we got to have another red carpet event because for those that don't know, about 2-3 years ago, they had the most incredible red carpet affair I've ever been to, except for Star Wars, one of those Star Wars red carpets, because they had big.
Oh, we can't outdo George Lucas, but we can still try,
Yeah. But for hip hop wise, oh my God, it was crazy. So we got to put that in the air for the next season.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the red carpet, we wanted to have an experience. Yeah. We wanted to make sure that there was an experience out there, and it was amazing for us, to try to kind of like, reproduce Harlem and reproduce that vibe, to do it at the Apollo was just, it's just an amazing thing. Yeah.
Markuann Smith, man. Thank you for being back with us again. You're not too big-headed. You haven't, what I mean? Still coming through.
Listen, never that. And it's so funny, man. I kind of troll and listen to Clubhouse and all these things, and people are arguing with each other. It just makes me laugh. Like, I think we as a culture, we just need to start embracing each other and not trying to tear each other down. Because I damn sure don't hear George Lucas talking about when I see Steven Spielberg is on site, or Stephen King talking about, when I see this dude, this dude Jordan Peele, I'm gonna snuff him. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy what I'm hearing right now, man. I just want to make great stories and stay sucker free, man.
Man, stay sucker free, bro. Salute, man. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, brother.
All right.